is what you're made of. You are perfect and pure, even if you're not sure. It's what you're made of. L-O-V-E, love.
All right. That's the way to start the day. Claim your blessings. I think it's the way to continue throughout your day as well. Keep claiming the blessings, because then more will come to you. What you focus on will definitely increase in your experience. There's so much that can be said about the practice of prosperity and abundance and gratitude. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what I consider the prosperity principle, like the core of being prosperous and being powerful in this world, in your life individually, but affecting the whole through the vibration and the frequency of your vibration in this world. So it becomes a simple shift. If we focus on the core of the teaching, it becomes a simple shift from fear of not having or being enough to knowing there's always a sufficiency of divine substance, and I always have the divine light within me. I am enough. I have enough. There is enough. There's more than enough. It's all ours. It's all yours. The whole universe is given to you. All of it is yours. It's what are you doing with it? How are you shaping that substance in your life? And that's where you become prosperous. Abundance is no problem. We have an abundance of everything. Prosperity is the ability to shape that substance into something that is loving and kind and useful. We're allowed to shape that substance through the power of our mind. And I love this definition of faith by Charles Fillmore in The Revealing Word. One of his definitions of faith is the power of the perceiving mind linked with the power to shape substance. So first you have to perceive the abundance that is yours. You have to perceive the energy flowing through you. You have to perceive yourself as a powerful being, as a Christ being. You have to perceive, have to be able to see and feel and experience and express and demonstrate your God self. And then you take that knowing, that perception of yourself that is now changed from a separate being to a being that's one with all there is, and you shape the substance accordingly. That's faith. That's not just, I hope something out there gives me what I need today. I'm reading two books on prosperity. One of them is by Reverend Jim Rosemergy, and it's called Even Mystics Have Bills to Pay. Isn't that great? And his basic premise is that God doesn't fill needs. God is the substance that fills all the needs and is filling your needs all the time anyway. You're the one that takes it and fills whatever need you perceive in your life or in the world. You get to do that. You are a powerful being. You not only have free will, you have been charged with the purpose of demonstrating Christ in you in this life. And it takes a moment of realizing that not only is the whole universe yours, the power to shape that substance is also yours, and that's where the faith comes in. Amen. You have faith in the power, first to perceive who you are, and then to shape the substance through the Christ self that you are into all that is good. Not just for you, but for everyone. Because one of the principles of prosperity is we're always giving to ourselves. When I give to you, I'm giving to myself because you're a part of me. And I didn't even know I had it until I looked for it and gave it to you. Till I saw a need and filled it. So when the thought that there's always enough comes into your mind, you can then focus your attention on what you're grateful for. Your gratitude, your attitude of gratitude is the key to a more happier and more fulfilling life. Using our spiritual power for greater good, we know that we're fulfilling our purpose here. And that there's no greater feeling than that. There's no greater feeling of contentment and peace and fulfillment than I'm actually fulfilling the purpose for which I am on earth. I'm not just taking up space. I'm doing something with my power. So if we believe in the law of mind action, which is thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, I don't think I put that up there, then it makes total sense that when we're grateful, we'll attract more things to be grateful for. Jack Canfield, he's a great teacher. He's a great teacher in mindfulness. You guys know Jack Canfield? Jack Canfield said, gratitude is the single most important ingredient to living a successful and fulfilled life. Amen. Gratitude. It's the single most important ingredient for your happiness, your prosperity, loving relationships, peace in your mind, in your home, and in the world. Gratitude is the single most important ingredient. If I'm cooking up rice and beans, I would say maybe the rice is the most important ingredient. Well, maybe it's the beans. Maybe it's the vegetables. Maybe it's the spices. But you know what it really is? It's the heat. It's the fire underneath all that makes it work. It's not even the cook, because anybody can do it. So in my search for the definitive principle of prosperity, I think gratitude is the heat under it all. It keeps it all working, keeps it all moving. If I'm not grateful for what I have, it doesn't matter how much I have, it'll never be enough. But if I'm grateful for what I have, then this 12 cents that we have in our prosperity coin basket is a lot. Man, I am so grateful. Because you know what I see here? I see a seed. I see this basket full. Actually, Leonard just went to the bank. That's why there's 12 cents in here. How much was it, Leonard? $125. So this is the seed that grows into $125. Gratitude is the seed that grows your life into what you want it to be. What you know it should be. What you not just want it to be, but you know in your heart that it can and will be. You're not just wishing for it to be that way. You're actually planting the seeds by saying, I'm so grateful for what I have now. I'm so grateful for these folks here today. I'm so grateful for everything in my life. When Joanne was doing that meditation, what happened was you guys started popping into my mind. Wow, I'm so grateful that Lily is in my life. Then all the things that she brings to my life started coming to me. I'm so grateful Jack and Ori are in my life. So grateful Kathy's in my life. So grateful for Joanne, for Ralph and Gail, for everyone. Wow, it's amazing. If you just do this 5 minutes a day, this is part of our prosperity practice, by the way, is being grateful and writing down 5 things that you're grateful for every day, and every day 5 new ones. No repeats. It's amazing. After 21 days, you realize how much you have already. And I don't care where you are. I don't care where you are on the so-called, ladder of material success. You can do this and you will find 5 new things each day to be grateful for. Gratitude is the single most important ingredient in living a successful and fulfilled life. So what does it have to do with prosperity? What is the prosperity principle? It has to do something with why I'm here. I think one of the things that we have to look at is all the various laws of prosperity. They're immutable laws of prosperity. Now, laws are like a principle, mathematics, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, I could say, no, 2 plus 2 equals 5. I could even convince you that 2 plus 2 equals 5, but when you got 2 chairs and you add 2 more, there's going to be 4. Oh, there's 5. Wait, there's 2 plus 3 is 5. And you're going to go, no, somebody told me 2 plus 2 equals. It's never going to be that way. A mathematical principle will always be the same. And so if you start there, you can go all the way to quantum physics, starting with these basic laws. So if we want to practice spiritual principles, we've got to go back to the basics. We've got to go back to the very fundamental aspects of prosperity. The first one that I came up with is giving and receiving are one in truth. That's a spiritual law. When I give, I automatically have received. Actually, I've already received it. I didn't know I had it until I gave it away. I won't get into that. That has to do with time. Okay, another really good one. I got this in church, by the way. You can't outgive God. Oh my goodness. Well, I gave, so much last year, and what am I getting? You've already gotten the whole universe. How can you outgive God or Source? You can't do it. Amen. So be grateful. A consciousness of spirit is our supply, or a consciousness of God is our supply. The money in the bank's not your supply. Your job's not your supply. No. Your political party's not your supply. No. Well, not even your spiritual teacher is your supply. Your supply is God, only, always. Supply is spirit. Amen. Spiritual energy, spirit, energy of love. That's my supply. And I get to shape it into anything that I desire. Isn't that amazing? But spirit is the supply. Consciousness and awareness of spirit. That's the supply. Divine substance. And that leads us into another really important aspect, that there's always enough. That the supply is always abundant. There's never a lack. Lack is not in the mind of God. It doesn't exist. Lack does not exist in spirit, and it should not exist in your mind either. There's never a lack. You don't lack anything. You have everything. It's just you're developing your ability to shape it into substance that you desire, that helps you in the world, that supports your highest good. If it's not supporting your highest good, maybe you won't get any more of it. If it's not supporting your highest good, then maybe I should be shaping that substance in a different way. And I love it because you always have a choice. You always get the choice to change your mind and say, okay, wait, I'm going to stop and say, what would love do now? I'm going to stop and say that. What would love do now if I was in my loving self? And I had a moment this morning. Okay, I'm going to tell on myself. I had a moment this morning. And Debbie was putting the water in my plant, and it was going to overflow. And it got up to that point of the bowl was going to overflow all over my papers and my books and everything that I had all spread all over the table. My leather binder with the wedding ceremonies and all this stuff was on my table. And I scurried around and tried to take it off. And it came up just to the top, like a cup of coffee. When it's totally full, only I'm not going to sip out of my plant. I don't want the plant water. It got just to that tippity top. One more drop, it was going to overflow over everything. And I was running around picking up my stuff, and I was all excited because I had to save these things. Those things are not my supply. I had to get in my mind that moment, I was in fear. I don't know what. I had to type all that stuff again. But I would lose all this work. I don't know. But, all of a sudden there's a reaction of fear. And I realized, wait, if we're really calm and we're not moving around excited and we're not fearful, it's going to stay right there. Like that cup of coffee. It was right at the top. One more drop. It would flow over the whole thing. So it was incumbent upon me to be still. So that's what's happening now in the world and in our lives. There's stuff happening where our minds are getting fearful. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? This is our response. Be still. Don't lash out at the people in the room. Don't get angry at the circumstance or situation. Be still. Right? This is Lao Tzu. How do you calm the muddy water? Leave it alone. Let it be. It will still itself. And it will clear itself. Be still. So I had to take a moment, close my door, do my mindfulness, be still. Because our tendency at that point in fear is to forget everything that we have and cut ourselves off from future opportunities of the future blessing. Now, I got to tell you, I've been reading this amazing book called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. And this one single woman has done more good in the world than 1,000 people I can name. I absolutely love her book and what she's done. And in it, I read this great story about being open to a blessing coming down the road and you don't know how it's going to happen. She was driving home from a conference, speaking engagement, California. She's driving home from San Francisco. The brakes on her car go out. She's got little to no brakes. She stops at the first place she can, and the person says, you got to get that fixed right away. You can't drive that car. There is a mechanic down the road. And so she carefully, with no brakes, got her car down the road to that mechanic. And when she pulled in, it was too late. The closed sign was on the door. The light was out on the front. But she saw a light in the garage area. She said, well, maybe there's a mechanic back there. I'm going to go peek in the window and see what's going on. She peeks in the window. There's a dozen people back there having a party. It's a great story. So the owner of the garage comes up to her. He's got a glass of champagne in his hand. And he goes, hi, how you doing? He says, I'm sorry, we're closed. She says, but the brakes on my car are out. I really need to fix it. He says, well, you can leave it here overnight. But as you can see, we're closed for the night. And we're in full swing in a party. And so she noticed that there were all these people around. There was a piano in the room, but nobody was playing it. And he said, I'll tell you what. Our piano player didn't show up, and he tells her as a joke, if you can play the piano for us tonight, I'll fix your car. Guess what? She was a piano player. She provided the music for their party. He fixed her car. When she tried to pay him, he said, no, you've already paid us. And it's waiting for you right around each corner. Every corner there's a miracle of prosperity, of abundance, of synchronicity, waiting for you, a miracle of healing, a miracle of whatever you need, whatever you want, whatever you desire. But it's in relationship to the whole and to everyone in it. So wealth is not an accumulation, but it's an activation. It's an activation of the energy that not only allows us to be aware of these possibilities, but allows us to activate them in our life. And I love living a life like this. It gets a little scary sometimes when you don't know what's going to happen, but just think of that story. What gifts do you have? What do you need, perhaps, from others? And how is that going to come together? Just allow it to happen. Because it will every single time. There's never a lack in the universe, and it's functioning in divine order and divine timing at all times. I just need to be in the flow of that. I need to activate it, not accumulate substance that I have shaped into a certain form. I don't care about that form. What I care about is the activation of the flow of divine substance between us. So the more you give, the more you're going to have. Because divine substance has a great property to it. It doesn't dissipate. It doesn't divide. It multiplies. So when I give you some, I still have what I had, but you have it also. So now we both have it. It's like an idea. I have this great idea, and I share it with you. Now you also have that idea, but I didn't lose it. I still have it. Same with divine substance. It's when we shape it into a form and try to keep it from everyone else and accumulate it is when it loses its value and it's no longer prosperous. So that in truth, you can only give to yourself. So when I dedicate a portion of my material wealth to supporting spiritual consciousness, when I enter into the practice of giving and tithing, my supply is increased. Always. We're going to have another testimonial today about that. I'm giving to growing spiritual consciousness, not just in my life, but in the world. And remember, everything is energy. Everything. Material substance is simply energy, shaped into a form we can understand and use. But at the core, it's all energy. And we all know this now. It's a popular idea, isn't it? Everything's energy. It's a very new and popular idea. Not so new. It's a very ancient and popular idea. We learned yesterday from Charlie that new thought was actually ancient thought. But we're discovering it again. And we're discovering it in a new way. And it's become available. It's become available to everyone, these ideas. The ideas are always expanding. It's never dividing, never decreasing. So the only question is, what kind of energy am I cultivating? What kind of energy am I putting into my work and my money? My thoughts, my actions, my ideas. What kind of energy? Because money can be used to accomplish amazing things for a great many people if we use it as a conduit for love, a vehicle for helping and not hurting others. You know, this woman is amazing, Lynn Twist. In her book, The Soul of Money, well, just a little history on her. She started the Hunger Project, the Pachamama Alliance, and several other huge organizations, nonprofit organizations, to help people in the planet around the world. And she raises millions and millions of dollars to accomplish this. And so she talks a lot about fundraising, because I kind of got a little tired. I didn't know being a minister was going to include so much fundraising. But I'm trying to raise the fun around here. Okay, no, that was bad. Didn't even get a chuckle on that one. Not all jokes work. I learned that in ministry too. But she says this: I love to ask people for money. Fundraising is a calling for me. It's not the dreaded assignment or burdensome obligation it is sometimes made out to be. Fundraising is hard work, but I also believe fundraising is sacred work. It offers a powerful and privileged opportunity to be in intimate conversation with another person about the nature of his or her highest commitments and values. That's the kind of conversation I want to be in with you. What are your highest commitments and values? And she goes on to say these conversations enable them to move the money that flows through their life towards those highest commitments in some way, no matter where they are in terms of the amount that you perceive you have, the amount of flow that you have in your life. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you're moving your energy, because money is just a conduit for your energy, in a way that supports your highest commitments and your highest values. That you're supporting yourself. You're supporting your spiritual growth, your spiritual transformation. You're creating community. You're celebrating love. You're transforming the lives of others. Because you're moving your energy in a way that supports your highest good. So speaking of fundraising, I already said that. I want to say this, is that the measure of your prosperity is directly relating to fulfilling the purpose of your soul in this lifetime. Your highest commitments and values have to be connected in some way to what is the purpose for you being here, the purpose of your soul. Ask these deeper questions of yourself. This is where you become truly prosperous. If your time, your talents, your treasure is dedicated to your highest purpose and shared freely with all of humankind, then you are indeed a most prosperous soul. So just think of that. Is my time, talent, and treasure fulfilling the purpose of my soul? Am I sharing it with all of humankind? And if so, you're going to get really happy about that. And if the joy of that happiness, the joy of giving, outshines all other pursuits that you have, then you are abundant and prosperous indeed. I love you guys.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.